Okay, video 4 of me sharing things in hopes that it might help people. When I uploaded yesterday's video, I saw that someone had commented on the first video and said that they were here for the ride. Charlie G, shout out Charlie G. So, I guess goal number 1 is accomplished. I'm reaching some strangers who are here for what it is that I'm saying. To be honest, I haven't actually really liked the videos that I made the past couple days as much as I don't know. I kind of feel like I came into this with like some intentions of what I was trying to share or accomplish by sharing, but I was also it's easier to share this stuff in dialogue with other people because, you know, you have another human there who you're interacting with, and you can let their responses guide what you share. And when I do these videos, I'm just sort of talking at my phone and imagining hypothetical people. Sorry, I'm a little burpy because I've had coffee today but no food, so it kind of makes me burpy. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk at hypothetical people who I think these videos might hopefully reach, and not really having feedback yet on, you know, what it is that that people are receiving and what's resonating. And, you know, when you have a conversation with someone, that's helpful because that can then trigger the next thought and inspire where the conversation, you know, it's an exchange. And I want this to be an exchange, but, you know, obviously it'll take some time before I'm getting that feedback, if that even happens. Still a useful exercise if that doesn't happen, because, you know, I like to journal, but I have been a little pretty negligent on that since the start of December. And I figured that if I could get some thoughts out this way, then there would be less pressure on what I want to be putting in the journal. But, you know, I came into this with like a hypothetical of, you know, maybe some alt-right radicalized young men or something who might find this video, who have followed the guidance of society, the societal messaging in mass media and in contemporary conventional wisdom of what you hear in school from your peers and from teachers and stuff. People who had followed that messaging and tried to live up to those societal standards of how to be, and had found themselves misguided, and had found themselves at a crossroads where the things that they had been told about how to live weren't working for them. And, you know, maybe open to new ideas that are a little different from that on how to proceed. And I guess I was projecting back into my own journey when I was at a crossroads more like that, you know, talk therapy was like one of the early stepping stone things. And I still do talk therapy. Talk therapy was an early stepping stone for me. And at that point, it was, you know, even though I got handed the Brené Brown and I read it with as much humility as I was capable of about being open to the methodology that was so alien to me, and maybe putting it into practice. The Brené Brown books, they talk about the importance of spirituality And I put a pin in that in the back of my mind. I said, okay, be open to it, but I wasn't ready yet for a spiritual awakening. It took like 5 years of practicing living that way before I really started to feel connected to the spirituality that she describes. Because I guess I had to see it in action in my life where it was something that was going to be necessary. And so I have had a recent, past 6 months or so, sort of a cascading process of spiritual awakening. But I was trying to hold that back from the videos, from what I'm sharing here, because I'm less confident in it as compared with the psychological approach. And I also figured, because again, I was projecting my journey, my path onto the people who might be watching these videos, and projecting my lack of readiness back when I first started this process onto the people who might be watching. But there is no one true path. There's only your path. And so maybe other people will be more open to the spirituality earlier. And furthermore, I'm vaguely picking topics before I make these videos, but I'm more so going off the dome. And so I think that part of the reason why I was finding myself getting stuck is that rather than just letting the flow happen, I was trying to control the flow a little bit. So now I'm just gonna... Flow state, I guess, I used to think it was something that like I had to figure out sorry, I just got a text, pulled me out of the flow. Oh no, let's see if we can get it back. I used to think of flow state as like something that you achieved or like went and found or built or something. You went and did it. And as I've practiced it more and more and more, it's really something that's already in there, ready to flow out. And you just, it's more just about getting out of its way, creating the circumstances in which you can just unblock it and let it out. And so I guess that's what I'm gonna try and do more now in these videos. So I somewhere in that, I've thought of any number of tangents based on the 8 minutes so far of what I've been saying. And I guess I'll just start with like growth mindset and fixed mindset, right? I've talked about like ego death in some of the past videos, and I mentioned humility in this video. Fixed mindset is when you, based on past experiences, have come to believe something about yourself, and so you just take it for granted that that's true, and therefore aren't open to it being proven untrue, and growing into a person who that's no longer the case for. Like if you're a picky eater or something, and there's some food that you find gross, and you just think, oh, I'm just not the type of person who likes that food. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a vicious cycle. Growth mindset, on the other hand, is, something I say a lot is, I'll try anything twice. And that's not about trying anything 2 times and then saying, if it didn't go well those 2 times, saying, okay, I'm done trying that thing. Like, doesn't work for me, moving on. It's more about like, no matter how it went last time, I'll try again. I'll try and think about why it didn't work out last time. And then when I make my next attempt, try in a different way and see if it works that time. And, It's not actually I'll try anything twice. It's I'll keep trying things. Just if it didn't work out, try and look at, is there something I did that made it not work out? And next time, can I try differently and see if it will work out? Because if it's something that works for other people, there's probably a version of it that'll work for you. And it's also a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a virtuous cycle. It is, I guess, the opposite of victim mentality, right? Ego death and victim mentality can't coexist. And I want to say, like, just because you're someone who takes a fixed mindset approach to a lot of things, or just because you're like, it's a spectrum. Everyone is fixed mindset towards some things and growth mindset towards other things. You can only adopt a growth mindset where you can become self-aware about and recognize a fixed mindset within yourself. So I'm sure, or I remain open to the idea that there are still things that I have a fixed mindset about. It's just that I haven't had whatever experience is gonna make me capable of seeing it within myself yet. And maybe there's some mistake in my future that will highlight for me where I'm still practicing fixed mindset. And, I'm open to make I painful though it will be in the future when I make some mistake that shows me an area of growth that still remains for me, I welcome it. For one thing, because I am comfortable with and confident in my toolkit for navigating that pain, not denying it, not running away from it, but, accepting it, that it's there, and letting it pass over me. I don't know if anybody out there likes Dune, the books or the movies, but the Bene Gesserit litany against fear. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total oblivion. I will allow my fear to pass over me and through me, and when it has done that, I will let it pass. It's important to be mindful and conscious about what you're feeling, and to be accepting of what you're feeling. Because if you're feeling something, if you're genuinely feeling something, it's always valid. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not highlighting something that you need to work on, but you're not lying to yourself or others when you're feeling something. There might be something you're not conscious about that you can try to work on getting better at that would allow you to... It's important to mindfully and consciously feel your feelings, and let them pass over you and through you. It's also important not to over-identify with them and cling to them. You gotta release them when once they've passed through you. Spider-Man always gets back up, It's very human to stumble. It's completely acceptable. And you can get knocked on your ass, and you can lay there for a bit, for however long you need. But sooner or later, it's also important to get back up and try again. Daring greatly, the Brene Brown stuff, the Roosevelt quote, the man in the arena speech, right? Fear, if you're in this place of looking for answers that I don't have the perfect answers, but I definitely have better answers than I had when I was 19. And I'm trying to share them with people so that people who know better than I do can give me feedback on how I can get better. And also so that people who are in a place similar to where I was when I was 19 can maybe take whatever stuff I might actually have correct and adopt it in their own mindset and in their own approach, and maybe start to feel a little better. It's not an easy process at all. It's a painful process. It's growth. Change is inevitable. I know a lot of people in this world subscribe to the belief on some level that people never change. I disagree. People change no matter what. They either remain in that victim mentality of not coming into their own power to control what they can control, and they therefore change for the worse. They cling to their coping mechanisms and their vicious cycles more and more and more, and run from feelings more and more and more. Or the pain of running from your lessons will be a hell of a lot worse and have a far greater effect on your quality of life than embracing the pain of learning your lessons. A lot of people don't choose to engage in this self-cultivation process because it's scary, and it comes with a lot of difficulties and a lot of challenges. Yeah, I mean, as you engage in it, you will, well, let's see. For one thing, human nature is to have shortcomings. This process that I'm talking about of self-improvement or self-cultivation, you'll still be flawed. No matter how well you engage in this process, no matter how comprehensively, no matter how much commitment you give to it, you're still going to have shortcomings and flaws, and that's just human nature. In fact, it's about becoming more aware of your flaws and your shortcomings. It's freeing to lean into them, to become more aware of them. Okay, sorry, iPhone storage was full. Had to, it gave me a chance to think about what actually feels important to say in continuation. What are we working on here? What am I trying to help people work on? Everybody, human nature, there's a storm inside you. There is a storm inside of everybody. The way I see it, the objective that I'm trying to help people with, calm inside, inner peace, tranquility, serenity, feeling secure on a safety level and, you know, in interacting with other humans. I talked a little bit in one of the earlier videos about when I was talking about masculinity and femininity existing inside of everybody and being authentic to yourself and not worrying about so much other people's judgments, thoughts, opinions, etc. Humans are a social animal. Feedback is super important. You can't perceive yourself. You're inside of yourself. You can't perceive accurately how you're coming across to people who are external from you. But it's also important to have your inner circle be comprised of people who have earned that closeness to you and whose opinions you actually put stock in. People who you trust. The goal is also being comfortable, confident, and secure, independent of anything external. I've talked about trying to help young men of the world, men of all ages of the world, with some of the stuff that I see men commonly struggling with. And a lot of the discourse there is about, take the people who identify as incels, right? Involuntarily celibate. They're talking about not being able to find someone in partnership where they feel connected to that person. But if you haven't done your inner work before you're seeking the partnership, you're not going to be able to build, or you're going to struggle mightily to build a healthy dynamic in partnership. You're going to be much more likely to participate in something codependent, toxic, unhealthy, something that is going to disturb your inner peace rather than help you achieve it. So it's hard stuff, and I don't think most people are doing it. A lot of the coping mechanisms that I think people learn in the world are about getting their validation externally. And a lot of the coping mechanisms have to do with building codependent dynamics with loved ones, romantic and otherwise. Well, I'll give more thought to what I want to keep saying on this stuff. But hopefully what I've said so far in these videos reaches some people. It's been flawed. I mean, I didn't even, when I was talking about masculinity and femininity existing within people, I didn't even really address, people who do identify as things aside from men and women, which is completely legitimate, I feel. It took me a while to even start talking about fixed mindset growth. I'm having trouble in these videos really getting to the deeper stuff that I feel I have available to share. So I'll keep working on it. Like I said in one of the past videos, man, this is like a new challenge of being vulnerable and putting my beliefs out there. I'm I've achieved an ability to do this in conversation with people, like standing across from another human. I can share these things, but just talking at my phone, I'm having trouble. You know, I feel I'm only scratching the surface so far. But, you know, if this reaches anybody, let me know if it's helpful to you, and let me know what you want to hear more about. You know, yeah, that's all I got for right now. Thanks for listening. Yeah, have a good one.